Hello there, guys, girls, gamers, everyone. Let me just start the countdown, because last episode got a bit longer. We're back to Bionic Heart 2, and we are currently destroying, or in the plan of destroying, London. For what reason, I'm not sure. They wanted to destroy Nanotech, and now they're destroying whole of London with a bioweapon. I don't know, which is a war crime. And wow, was there any point in the story where I could have prevented that? I mean, I could have put other guys, the one that Luke is impersonating in there, but I'm not sure. The heck? We will find out. Is this leading to the bad ending? I don't know. We will find out. So there's a good chance that it will spread out even beyond London, and who knows, maybe the entire world. What is going on with her? I certainly could do that. No, please, in the name of all that's good and just, don't do that. You shut up with good and just. You have no right to even use these words. Did he... Wait. Let's go back a second. I might be going crazy. Show me. Oh no, he was always blue. I guess I'm going crazy. I thought he dressed. He dressed differently now. But don't you think it's a little much, Tanya? I mean, it's only Earthlings, but still what? I don't really like all this killing. But Jason, I'm not talking about killing them. All I'm talking is about infecting them with this virus. If they're worth their salt, they will find a cure, and if not, don't they deserve to die? Don't you see what they're doing? Extracting brains, creating bioweapons, all in the name of profit. Yeah, well, come on, do me that favor. They need a lesson, and you owe me that much, don't you? You know what? You're right. No, you can't possibly. I can't? Oh, I show you I can. Yes, he's doing it. London needs to be cleansed of corruption, plain and simple, and if no one is left alive, then there's no one left to corrupt. Doesn't this go, against anything we did so far? Smiling, I waved to Maya as I walked towards the opening hatch on the robot's leg. Farewell, Maya, and good luck explaining what happens now. You're not killing me? Of course not. It's much more fun knowing that you will be made responsible for all of that what happens now. Oh god, oh god! I enter the hatch, which closes behind me, and I tuck myself into the straps that are probably intended to secure cargo inside here. Let's hope these things hold. And as Jason leaps off and, judging from the rounds, breaks through the ceilings, I'm really happy now my body is cybernetic. A real one would have thrown up just now. Ending unlocked. Public execution. Mars was thrown into confusion when a man was discovered dead in the streets. They were confused, not just by the appearance of a mysterious corpse in public, but because it couldn't be identified. Mars authorities scratched their head in puzzlement. To them it was as if some stranger had suddenly slipped into the colony, only to commit suicide. Investigators were baffled, but they were determined to appease the alarmed residents. Luckily, the mystery was solved in a matter of a few days. Records of Luke's arrival at the Mars spaceport were found, linking him to the name of Lucas Walker. The Mars authorities quickly searched Lucas Walker's sled on the Mars and found 2 people in there, Tom and Helen, 2 more people who didn't belong on Mars. After a very quick and drastic trial, they were found guilty of identity theft, one of them most despised crimes on Mars. Punishment was swift and harsh. They were publicly executed and their organs sold to the highest bidder. No one on Mars found out what happened to the real Lucas and Eleanor Walker or the real Otto von Augenthaler. What followed was considered one of the worst industrial accidents in the history of the world. The entire circumstances of the destruction of London were never fully cleared up, but the most likely course of events was this. Nanotech had secretly worked on a superweapon, a powerful war machine, beyond anything that the world had ever seen. They had hoping to sell this weapon to the highest bidder. However, the war machine relied on an artificial intelligence system for weapons control, and that AI had malfunctioned during one of the final tests. With its fully armed capabilities, the first laid waste to the nanotech complex, leveling the entire production facility in minutes, and then resumed to unload all weaponry on the streets of the city of London. Despite British Air Force's swift response with a counter-offensive, their first line of fighters were destroyed as soon as they got into missile range. And the second line, consisting of substantially more planes, managed to bombard the war machine once before they too were effortlessly eliminated. Before the full force of British Army could assemble for a good ground attack, London was already burning, Parliament was in ruins, Buckingham Palace heavily damaged, and all that remained of the Tower Bridge were its pillars. Eyewitnesses claimed that the war machine had disappeared into the sky after that, but the official reports later were that the AI had self-destructed eventually. Miraculously, Richard Meyer has survived the disaster uninjured. However, his luck had run out from there. Not only was his company in ruins, he had also to take responsibility for the malfunction in AI. In the course of that investigation, evidence suddenly appeared that he had been bribing literally hundreds of government officials over the last few years. Federal investigations were fortunately able to convince some of those officials to testify against Meyer. One strange event during the trial made the news, where on its way to the courthouse, Meyer suddenly turned, pointed into the crowd and screamed, "There she is! That's her! That's the woman who's responsible for all of this!" However, it remains unclear who he might have meant, and through conspiracy theorists believed that he found the person a blonde woman, there was nothing that implicated her. In fact, there was no information at all on that woman. There were no records of her anywhere, which was exactly why conspiracy theorists were suspicious of her in the first place. Eventually, Meyer was found guilty not only of bribery, but also 50 other criminal offenses, including the murder of a police officer. But the real surprise about the trial was the identity of the person who had been able to gather the necessary evidence against Meyer. It had been a simple policewoman, a patrolling officer named Tina Gomez. Thanks to her persistence and bravery, her findings gave the police the vital evidence to stop Meyer's schemes. She successfully convinced her superiors to confront the most influential man in the country. After receiving the highest honors of her country, she was immediately promoted to detective. However, when she inquired by the press about her achievements, all she could reply was, "I hope Rob is proud of me." 6 months later, she joined Interpol. Ending unlocked, lost in space. Logbook of the nanotech prototype, codename Behemoth device. Well, I guess this is it. First time I'm using the logbook sequence. The first time and probably the last time. Yeah, it sounded cool having a giant robot body full of bioweapons, jet engines, and fusion reactor to power all that. Including a really powerful rocket engine that gives the body the potential for interplanetary travel. But how was I supposed to have known that this engine wasn't designed for takeoff? It was intended for space travel and for one safe landing. The original plan was to have it brought into orbit with a carrier rocket and then to switch to its own propulsion. I already burned most of my own jet fuel just getting away from Earth. And now my only way to the outer planets of the solar system, yeah, but I'm out of fuel. I'm not even on a good course for Mars. I thought I could travel to the general direction of where I wanted to go, and then make adjustments later. But you don't do adjustments without fuel to propel the maneuvering jets. I've already calculated the course I'm on. If I'm lucky, I'm going to miss Neptune and then continue to drift out into the Milky Way. If I'm not so lucky, I'm going to enter an orbit around Neptune, or even worse, crash into the planet. I doubt this robot body can take that. Should anybody find this thing in one piece and hear this message, it would be really nice if you could give me a refill and send me back. The main rockets of this thing here run on hydrogen. I think I can make it back to Mars with a full tank. I'll take a bit of time, but I can make the calculations. If you need me to destroy a few cities in exchange for the hydrogen, fine with me, as long as you don't know anybody there. Oh, and if you should find me, that is the brain inside this thing, dead on arrival, tell my sister Sarah she was right. My luck did run out one day. Well, so much from me. I hope the sleep mode on this thing works. Commencing hibernation. All systems nominal. Celso Riva. This is one ending. Götz Heinrich. That sounds German. I guess this is it. I don't know what I could have done differently. I could, go back and make the one choice of putting the other guy in there. Not sure. Not extremely certain if I want to. But it's still 8 minutes. You know what? I will see you back in a second. So, let's do this. I'm taking this route, and I'm speeding up. You don't have to see all of this. I'm back when the ending sequence nears. Okay. The last ending was not really that great. We practically, that's the worst ending. Everyone lost. So I guess I went somewhere wrong with Luke's line, because I guess he's not supposed to die. And he was the wrong choice, so Jason was the right choice for the thing. I don't know. I don't care, to be quite honest. This was Bionic Heart 2. This is the last episode on Bionic Heart 2. There will be a new series in its spot. It will be a visual novel. It's the visual novel spot. Holy crap, you are very loud. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Best regards for Pops. Bye!